So guys, welcome back to another video of the NASA Factory. This is might be some the okay. So guys, welcome back to another video of the NASA Factory. Today we're gonna analyze about the flight 10 consequences. Right, because of Starship Flight 10 is going to happen on 24th August. Hope it will happen on the 24th August. If it delayed, then it could be happen on the 26th August. So we cannot tell exactly when it's going to happen because there is not a constant window is available. But let's say the what exactly going to be happen in the flight 10 is not just the task and the execution maneuver, execution tasks that the SpaceX has scheduled in a flight 10 profile. We will see the what is the outcome of the flight 10 without even like without even a flight 10 has performed yet. So we will see some quite of the Starship Flight 10 like subtle prediction regards to their the flight performance and vehicle performance. As you saying behind me, there is a screen is depicting that what exactly going to be happening in a flight 10 with along the some mystery that will be unlocked in a flight 10. Let's see how the ship 37 and the booster 16 will perform in their own fleet, and I'm really excited for that one. So let's see. The first thing, and before I'm going to start the video, I wanted to say, I want to tell the summary regards to the Flight 9. The Flight 9 vehicle, including the booster 14-2 and the Ship 35, was performed partially with the subtle success and not the full success. But that success doesn't matter here. The matter is here that how they executed their task and every order that SpaceX has scheduled for two, right? So the ship 35 was failed due to the fuel diffuser, failure, and pressure builds up in a nose cone section and undeployed payload of the Starship, like a Starlink simulators. So these three factors contributed in a failure of the Starship because of this uneven weight distribution that really be going beyond the thrust vector control, like thrust vector control plus thrust control systems compensating degree. That's why the Starship Ship 35 was failed, and Booster 14-2 was already compromised by the previous flight. That's why the structural ability uh, wasn't they didn't withstand the external and the internal pressure of the entire flight was introduced through the experimental task. This task was very a torture for the booster. That's why the booster did not stand with the multiple of the high strain energy events that's relate the fuel transfer tube collapse. Boom! And there the flight 9 ended up with the catastrophic failure of ship 35 into the re-entry. Booster 14-2 in the final phase of this landing in an offshore zone. That's what exactly happened. But let's start our the entire flight 10 analysis. So we will go through the first successful event that what gonna be happen in a flight 10, and then we will move towards the unsuccessful events that probable to be happen in a flight 10. So let's see the successful event first. The first thing that's from the ascent, from the liftoff of the flight, the booster 16 and ship 37 will perform a flawless. As my analysis of my study and not actually dropping some high accurate predictions, but I'm saying the liftoff will be nominal. Since the liftoff happened, it will go to the pitching down range, then it will start to pitching on its the angle to go and stay away from the pad and go away from the pad. Then it will go to the mass Q successfully as we know usually. Then it will perform the whole climb towards the hot staging altitude and the separation altitude, which will be marked at the T plus 2 minutes and 41 minutes in the counting when the hot staging and the main engine cutoff will happen. After that, the booster 16 is intended to do the directional flip maneuver because of the several blocked vent on a hot staging ring, which changes the flame directions and makes the some directional push to the booster on the right side. So that's called a directional flip maneuver. Will occur at the like almost a 3 minutes or 2 minutes in the counting. Then hot staging and like C35, C37 will separate from its the first stage will continue their journey. We'll see about ship 37 later. Let's see about the booster 16, how it's gonna perform. Let's see. And then after that, there is a 80% probability that it will perform the flawless boost back burn, and then it will perform the 80% probability with the hot stage injection, means ejecting is the hot stage over the offshore zone, and then it's going to perform the high angle of attack re-entry with the almost a very challenging angle. That is a very challenging angle which will reduce the high strain of the thermal, and plus the air drag on the vehicle of the booster 16. Hopefully it will be withstand because it's a new kind of booster, is brand new booster. Its structural ability is designed to withstand. So with the 80% probability, successful hot stage like a hot stage jettison, boost back burn shutdown, then it will start to descend towards the Gulf of America, towards the actual landing zone, offshore landing zone. There is no catch in a booster because they wanted to repeat the anomaly that happened in flight 9. So anomaly, repeating the anomaly is not a failure. It's about to saying that if this booster is performed well, means the booster for in dash 2 was truly flawed. So if this booster did not perform well, then we can say that this task and this configuration of the entire re-entry phases and they are experimental is out of the broad line outlier in the booster capability. So that after that, so booster will be start to reorient itself on the high angle of attack and configure it the angle. Then it will start to re-enter towards the landing zone. Once it reaches to the almost near the transonic, it will perform the slightly reorientation on its the axis on the vertical slightly. Then it will perform the landing burn with a 70% probability. I'm just saying there is all the intended experimental task like a engine out scenario, just like a outer ring, like inner ring engine one is out, then outer ring engine is one is out. Scenarios like will be happen, including the outer ring engine like a 13 engine or 13 engine will be not ignited at the point. There will be the one engine and two engine will be out, and inner ring like a center engine, the three gimbal engine, the one engine will be out, stay out to see if the booster is able to compensate that the one engine out scenario or two engines out, like almost the quantity of the engine so scenarios in the last stage of the like landing. So we will see the emergency landing scenario that one, and then it will splash down in a Gulf of America with the peacefully. There is a 70% probability and the steering, and this is not accurate data. I'm just stating about the because of the analysis that I have done through the upgradation spaces stated and my own analysis of the data and the structural ability of the booster 16, and then we will move towards the anomaly sections because sheet 35. So sheet 35 was sheet 35 was performed not flawlessly. It performed the flaw. So we are not expecting some kind of the high level uh, survival the survival movement of the ship 37. So ship 37 will have the same fate near to the ship 35. So we will see in anomaly section because success section has been done. So just you will now asking me why I'm not studying the successful event of the ship 35. There is a reason because the ship 35 is a high risk and high stake risk vehicle. Means Starship is upper stage is a finally exposed to the vacuum, plus it's operating under the high stress event. That's why there is no probable success in the entire flight. But we can assume there is a failure that is a probable outcome of the entire flight 10 ship 37. So let's start from the hot staging and stage separation of the ship 37. So after the booster 16 performed the good, well, in an informed way, then the ship 37 will start the six engines, including the center, sea level, and outer RVAC levels, right? The Raptor vacuum engines, and then it will start to climb towards its suborbital phase, but that the 5 minute climbs almost from almost like 2 to like 8 minutes in accounting and T plus 8 minutes. That entire climb was intended to be very terror and intended to be full of thriller of the risk, because you can see the last minute block two in the initial moments of there that the seeker wasn't perfectly performed. That's why, but in a flight 9 was performed flawlessly. So we expecting here like 40% probability 40% probability that the ship 37 will perform the entire Seiko maneuver flawlessly. Otherwise, it will have the same fate as their siblings had in the last flights. So, 40% probability is going to be happen with the Seiko, the second engine cutoff. So, if the C-37 passed to the Seiko, then it will perform the it will perform the Starlink similar deploy testing. So these are the how Starlink simulators inside the payload bay is actually going to be deployed in the Ship 37. They are repeating the every task that they had lost in the previous flights. That's not the big catch. Big catch is deploying them. How you will deploy them with the absurd mechanism, because SpaceX haven't improved yet that the page door deployment door isn't working well or not, because since the flight 3, when we saw the flight 3, there's a like not there's a not stuck there wasn't stuck payload there, but very flawed payload bay that it opened slightly then shut down, like almost it just ripped off from its deposition. So this kind of mechanism is not good for the owl. So we will see the Starlink deployment happen with the 31% probability. Why I'm stating the 31% probability? Because SpaceX has invested the more focus into the payload bay section. So because the last time the parachute builds in that section, so SpaceX is really going to make the happen the payload bay open in a flight 7. I'm guaranteed that. We will see some ejector problem later, but door will be open, or even some Starlink will flow out from SPA payload bay, but these anomalies are guaranteed. But if it passed to the payload bay, then we will see some the in space reactor uh, reignition phase. So in space reactor ignition is a crucial for the deorbit maneuvers. But so let's see how many probabilities are showing my data. There is a 20% probability in a Raptor reignition. Means it could be happen or it could not be, or even there is a fate that total failure, including the attitude flow once again. But I will pass to the Raptor ignition space maneuver. Then it will start to do the re-entry. But there is a like almost 25% possibility of the re-entry. It will re-enter over the Indian Ocean. Yeah. Then there is a possibility of Lemos at 30 to 35% control re-entry with all the tires and aerodynamic control intact. Then 11% probability of the belly flop and landing burn. Means probabilities are dropping and reduction of the probabilities are getting a very cruel, because since the flight has almost began and executing, there is a drops in some probabilities. And once it's completely done is the landing burn, it will almost a 5% probability it will land in a Indian Ocean. Or even there is a probability of the explosion of the C-37 over the Indian Ocean. I'm saying this could be happen. So buckle up your seats to watch the unimaginable and unintentional firework over the Indian Ocean. And let's see about the booster stats throughout the flight, how it will perform with the engine, how their engines will be intact, how the activation will happen, how many engines will be work. So here the mark the ascent at the ascent there is no engine out in like compensation. So all 33 out of 33 engine will be intact, but booster burn 11 out of 13 engine will be intact. Two engines will be out 69 for stack point. I'm just guessing, I'm not saying it will happen, but my guess is not always accurate. Let's see. And then landing burn, I'm saying there is a 9 out of the 30 engine will happen because of the because I mean, like there is a corrosion inside the entire propulsion system of the entire star booster system, and almost there's a almost 4 engine drops in a landing burn, which could make there's some problem in a central gimbal engine. There is only one engine will be out, and booster might will splash down with the whole chaotic movement of the engine out scenario, and it will like it will land successfully. There is no point of that because we got a 70% successful hallmark of the entire build. So we will see that, and then our precious C-37. Hopefully, there is a not good fate because C-37 will start its 6 out of 6 engine flawlessly, but in space relight is not probability. There is a zero engine activation, means is indicating there is a no way that the in space reignition will happen, or it will happen. But C-37 landing burn in the almost a 2 engine will be out of the 3 center, and that makes some chaotic disorientation of the belly flip maneuver, and then ship 37 will explode over the Indian Ocean. It will make the re-entry, it will make through the transonic everything, but at the landing burn it will introduce any problems. So there's some problems I have speculated here that you can see the right side of your display. There is the potential some executed that. So you can see that there is a potential SICO failure is a mark. There is potential second engine cutoff failure. I'm saying hopefully this should not be happen. I'm just saying. So and then second failure is could be the potential Starlink simulator deployment ejector failure. Do you know what is the ejector? These are the tray of the entire the Starlink simulators are ejecting from there the position. That's called the ejector. So that's gonna be failed in a flight 7. Sorry, flight 10. C-37 will be going to be do that. Means door will be open, but ejector will be failed. And then potential landing failures I noted, like a 2 engine will be out and then disorientation and not complete perfect belly flow will be happen there. It will be total failure in a Indian Ocean, and potential in space burn partial failure means like in space reactor ignition will be happen immaturely and prematurely possibly there. And with that, our the flight 10 analysis has ended. I'm really saying this is a quick analysis. I'm just not throw you off to some kind of biggest explanation over it. I'm just saying that there is accuracy in my guesswork is not a paramount, so you should not believe on that. I'm just saying just for to giving you idea what could be possible and what could be happen. So let's see in a flight 10. I'm Gaurav Joshi. You're watching NASA Dive 3. I'm hoping the flight 10 will be launched on a 24th August or 26th August. I'm very excited for that moment to see the ship 37 will perform flawlessly. It could enable us to see the ship 38 will perform the re-entry and catch a 10, bro. Catch a 10, I'm really in. I wanted to do. I don't see that. So, bye guys. I'm Mission Impossible. Before the our last stream for the flight 10 reaction, I'm gonna be awake whole night, see the flight, and let's see how what is the outcome there. So, bye.